What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Casual Critic YouTube channel. I'm very happy to have you here today. I'm going for the cozy vibe with my head up. I'm kind of tired. I just got off work. However, that is not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about Umma. It's a new horror movie. It just came out. It's got Sandra Oh and Fievel Stewart. I'm sorry if I'm saying her name wrong. She is Boo Boo Stewart's sister, and she was in Atypical, so I recognized her immediately because I love Atypical. That's on Netflix, and she's gay, so I know who that is, and it's directed by Irish Shim. As far as I can tell, I've scoured the internet that this is the only, well, not the only film that this person has done, but the first big, feature, got big people in it kind of movie. So, let's talk about what Umma is about, and I hope I'm saying that right. I'm pretty sure that's how they said it in the movie. I want to say that right. It translates to mother, which is important, and if you've seen the movie, you obviously know why. So, what the movie is about, Sandra Oh plays a lady who was abused by her mother when she was a child. She used to get electrocuted. They had this lamp that had a faulty wire, and her mother would electrocute her with it. Yeah, not so great. And when she grows up, she leaves her mother. She's like, I'm getting the fuck out of here, obviously. And now she lives completely off the grid. She doesn't use electricity because she's scared to death of electricity, understandably so. And when we meet her in the movie, she has a teenage daughter. I think she's supposed to be between 16 and 18, roughly. She's getting ready to head off to college. But they say something about her being 16, but she's getting ready to head off to college, so I don't know exactly her age. But anyway, then her mother dies. Sandra Oh's mother dies, and her uncle takes it upon himself to bring Sandra Oh the remains and prized possessions of her now deceased mother into her home, where she has created a sanctuary away from all of that. And basically, the spirit of her mother comes with all these things that he brings to Sandra Oh, and she kind of takes over Sandra Oh's life and her house in the afterlife. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we have going on. We have a ghost mother, crazy bitch mother situation going on. So before I went into it, my expectations were, I thought Sandra Oh was going to do at least the best she could with what she had, but that the movie was going to be, as a whole, the movie was not going to be so great. I love Sandra Oh. I think she's one of the best actresses to ever live, and I mean that with my whole chest. She is so underrated. So I knew that she was going to do at least the best with what she had. I didn't know what she was going to have. I didn't know if it was going to be shit or not. So that was what I thought going into the movie. But I'm still really excited to see it because Sandra Oh's involved. I'm very excited. So let's get into the review of the movie. Let's talk about the directing, because you can tell that this is this director's first big movie. It does not flow. It doesn't have any flow at all. It feels, especially in the very beginning, as the movie goes along, it gets a little bit better, but especially in the beginning, it feels so choppy. It's choppy. It's it's not that I don't understand what's going on. That's not the issue. It's just it is not a cohesive body of work. It don't flow. It's not in the ocean. It's out in the Sahara Desert, okay? They were trying to create tension very early on without, they set it up in the beginning. The idea of the movie is not, it's not a bad idea. It's just not executed well at all. There were a lot of scenes that had this tension building music that did not need it. Did not need that at all. That didn't even make any fucking sense. It would be Sandra Oh and the daughter talking, and it was ooh. No, we don't need that right now. We don't need that. And then in other scenes where tension should have been building, it either didn't build at all and it was just pow, or there was no trying to build it. There was no music, there was no interesting maybe a zoom in. There was nothing. It didn't make a lick of sense. It felt like this person maybe had never seen a horror movie before and didn't really know, not that you should follow a formula, but you should know what you're doing, you know what I mean? And I very much appreciate this director's initiative to tell a story like this. I think it's cool. And the story itself, when you just take that alone, is really fucking cool. Just could not put that together though. Just could not. At times it felt and looked like a TV movie that was just below par of what it should have been. There was one part that I was actually scared, which I do have a very high tolerance for horror movies. I don't get scared very easy. So I don't base a horror movie's likability, good job there. I don't base a horror movie's likability with if I was terrified. Obviously I would like to be. I like watching horror movies to be scared. But if I'm not scared, I'm not necessarily going to be well, it's a terrible movie. But this was just not scary. Not because it wasn't scary and I just wasn't scared. It just wasn't scary because they didn't do it right. Does that make sense? Am I making fucking sense? Anyway, there was one part though, albeit a very small part, but there was one part that I was scared, but that wasn't because of the directing or anything that was really going on. It was just because Sandra Oh was doing a really good job. There is one part, this is a no spoiler warning. I don't want to give away exactly what happens because I thought something in particular was going to happen, and it did, but I didn't know if that was what it was for sure. But there's one part where Sandra Oh has to be scary, and she did a really good job, and I was scared of her. She was a little spooky. But other than that, not scared at all. Not scared even a little bit. So the story, it felt very half-baked. Someone had this idea. They said, okay, let's just do it. And then they just did it, but they didn't think a lot of it through. That was evident through the directing and just the story itself was a really good start, but it needed some more. It just felt like something was missing. The whole time I was watching this movie, I was there's just an element that's missing. And I don't know exactly what it is. It just could have been better, and they didn't think that through. They did not think it through. Sandra Oh, wait, I'm skipping ahead. I'm sorry. The overall, I'm reading my notes, okay? The overall premise of the generational trauma turned horror movie, I think is very, very cool, very interesting. Good job with that overall idea. You just got to execute that a little bit better, okay? Let's get into the acting. I love Sandra Oh, okay? I've said this. I love her so much, and I feel like she's underrated, but part of that is because sometimes stuff like this happens, okay? She did the best she could. And there were a few scenes where she had a little one-liner or a line that was just, it felt like I was watching a movie. It felt like I was watching a fully fleshed out movie. The rest of it didn't feel like that, but that's not because of Sandra Oh. She did really, really good for what she was given. The lady that played the daughter, Fievel Stewart, she did pretty good. She was a little flat sometimes, maybe. A little flat, okay? But she did pretty good. I don't know how many movies she's done. I just know her from Atypical. So, she was really good in that. And I know this is very different kind of thing. But she did pretty good. I was pleased, okay? Everyone else did pretty good except the person who played her friend. I don't know her name, but if you've seen the movie, you know who I'm talking about. She came over for game night or whatever. So if you've seen it, you know who I'm talking about. No, she was just very, she kind of talked like this, and there was no real emotion in her voice. And there's one scene where she has to give a inspiring speech, and it was bad. And I wanted to walk out of the theater. I didn't want to walk out. Well, I mean, I drove 3 hours to see this movie, and it was not worth it. I'll just tell you that. So yeah, and also, this is not usually something I mention during reviews, but the advertising for this movie sucked. I looked into this movie at the very end of February. It came out yesterday, March 14th. There were no pictures of this movie. All the pictures of Sandra Oh were from other things that she's done, and they just needed to put some picture when they talked about the movie, and it wasn't even this movie. So the advertising fucking sucked. There was only one couple, and I went to go see it opening night. There was only one couple in there in the theater, and I went to a big city to watch it because they didn't play it where I live. So, yeah, the advertising fucking sucked. I gave it a 2 out of 5, and mostly, I wanted to give it a 1.5 out of 5, but I gave it a 2 out of 5 out of respect for Sandra Oh, because I love her very much. That's my review of Umma. Let me know down in the comments below if you've watched this movie and what you thought of it. Go down in the description box. You'll find my Twitter, my Instagram, and my TikTok, and subscribe to this YouTube channel. I would really appreciate it. I'm talking very fast. And I've also got a podcast that comes out every Saturday that's called The Casual Critic. You can find it on Anchor, Spotify, and Apple. I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching. Peace.